All right, so I'm getting ready to head out to a grad party in Clara City, Minnesota, which is about 85 miles from here. So I'm going to stop and hit a couple stores on the way, see if I find anything cool. I'm currently in Litchfield, Minnesota, so we're going to stop at what I believe is probably a municipal store. It's just called Litchfield Liquors, so let's check it out. Got a Peerless Double Oak right off the bat for a decent price. Knob Creek store pick, that's pretty cool. There's some Minnesota bourbons on the right there. Some Calumets, then kind of some standard stuff here. I've never heard of this one right here before, but I'm guessing that's probably a bottom shelf, maybe a craft one or something like that. Kind of some standard Jim Beams, and then this one bourbon over here they had labeled as 1 per customer, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know what that is. I tried to look up some info on it and didn't really find anything special about it, so I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. Some Brother Justice. Those are single malts and a couple of Old Elks. And then your basics. All right, nothing too fancy in there. I like that Peerless Double Oak for, what was it, 89 bucks or whatever it was. That was pretty cool. Other than that, some basic stuff. Not sure what that Old Hickory Bourbon limit 1 per customer thing was all about, but I couldn't find any information on it that really led me to think that that was anything special, so not sure about that. Anyway, onward to Willmar, Minnesota. All right, so not quite to Willmar yet, but I stopped in this little town called Grove City, very small town, and there's a liquor store here, so I'm going to swing in and just see if there's anything weird or discontinued bottles or anything like that. Sometimes you find cool stuff like that in these little small towns. So barely anything for a bourbon shelf here, but check this out. Jim Beam Jacob's Ghost. Kind of cool, discontinued bottle. I mean, it's a white dog, but what are you going to do? Old school Knob Creek label. That's cool if you're a collector. And then they got the Wild Turkey Spiced, also discontinued. All right, so not much of a selection there, as you saw, but kind of cool that they had like the Wild Turkey Spice and the Jacob's Ghost and old school Knob Creek. That's what I like about these small town liquor stores is you sometimes find those old, like even just a discontinued label like that Knob Creek. So yeah, kind of cool. I didn't pick anything up. I already have all that stuff, but just kind of cool to see. Okay, finally made it to Willmar. It's now raining, which is great. First stop is Westside Liquors. Got some Jack Daniel's single barrel proof right off the bat. Not loving the price on that. That's usually about 70 bucks around here. Kind of some standards on the bottom here, but overall a pretty good variety of bottles. Kind of seem to have a little bit of everything. This Dexter bourbon up here, I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on that because I really liked it. I've had some friends that really liked it, but I've also sent it to a couple of channels that were kind of 50-50 at best on it. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've had that because I think it's a really interesting one. Got some 2XO that we saw there. That's pretty cool. The Henry McKenna, overpriced, kind of as usual at this point. I'm kind of noticing that this store seems to be just generally kind of overpriced a little bit. I'm not loving the prices here, but again, decent amount of bottles. Kind of got a little bit of everything, so if you're really looking for something, they're probably going to have it for the basic stuff, but I don't know. I think you can do better on prices. So decent selection there, but it seems like every single bottle was about $10 overpriced, which is weird because it's not the only liquor store in this town, so it's kind of odd that they would have higher prices when there's a bunch of competition, you know, a couple blocks away. There was a shelf behind the counter that I didn't get any footage of, and they had some stuff, but they had just like the kind of the standard stuff like Kentucky Owls and, you know, things like that tend to run a little more expensive. But they also had behind the shelf, or behind the counter, 1792 small batch for $50. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like, that's starting to show up on allocated lists, I guess, for liquor stores. And I've heard in the comments from other people that, you know, that one's, you know, behind the counter up on the shelf at their area too. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. That's weird. Anyway, on to the next one. All right, the sun's back out. That's good. Stopping into Cashwise Liquor. Cashwise always has a great selection. We got the new Innkeeper's blend from 2XO there. Haven't had that one yet. Decent selection of Penelope. This is kind of the main ones we get in Minnesota here, but good prices on those. So Cashwise is always good for sales and stuff like that. So they usually have some pretty good deals going on. That Legent that I just passed by, I'd love to hear your opinion on that one too, because I've never had that before, but I'm kind of interested in it. I just don't know if I'm interested enough to spend the money in the bottle. So let me know in the comments if that's worth it. Got some Wild Turkey stuff here. That's awesome. Kind of standard prices on those. Standard prices for the Old Elks. Maybe even a little less expensive on the Old Elks, which is nice to see. Yeah, this place has just got a little bit of everything. They kind of have just a big variety, and again, they've usually got some pretty good sales going on their standard bottles. You know, like right here, the Old Forester 100 on sale. I love that. And the 1792 small batch, right where it belongs, on the shelf and price point. Also want to try this Rowan's Creek. I know it's a fairly common one, but I've never had it before, and I've never wanted to spend the money on the bottle because I just don't like Willet products. So, just not sure if I should pull the trigger on that one or not. Love those Wilderness Trails, though. And there's that Hooten Young 12. Still interested in that one. Also never had that Wiseman before off to the left. Love to hear your opinion on that one too. So here we got the premium selection. Kind of hard to see, but most of the standard kind of higher price bottles are in here. I didn't want to zoom in because I didn't want to lose video quality, but if you look right there in the middle, that looks an awful lot like a Woodford Masters collection, so I think we're going to have to investigate that one a little bit further. Other than that, we got our standard expensive bottles behind the glass here. All right, so there you have it, Cashwise. Great selection, good prices. They had that 1792 small batch for a normal price at a normal spot on the shelf, which was nice. Good premium selection, but I think the main question is the one bottle that stood out, the Woodford Batch Proof. Did I pick it up at 140 bucks? Yes, I did. So, didn't intend on spending quite that much money on a bottle today, but last time I had a chance to buy one of those, the batch proof ones, I passed on it and really regretted it, so I figured, you know, it's only about maybe 10 bucks more than the MSRP is for it, I think, so I went ahead with it, but that's going to be the bourbon budget for a little bit here now, so I was actually planning on maybe getting a couple of bottles, but that one came to about 150 something after taxes, so I think that's going to do it for buying bourbon for today. So anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.